One of the real problems, and I guess with the mixed farmers, is the feed gaps. And farmers have identified there are 3 main feed gaps during their season. And of course, depending on their production system, it depends on the intensity and the duration of those feed gaps. There are a number of farmers out there that sow cereals simply so that they can get early feed production. And our work in terms of the research and others across Australia, so cereals produce far more dry matter early than any other species. Generally, we would say that the dry matter production of barley is quicker. So there's more dry matter from barley than there is from wheat. But probably the most important thing, it's plant numbers. So if you're going to sow something you want to graze early, then really get the plant population up is the most important thing. A cereal crop is safe to graze as soon as you can't pull it out of the ground. So that can be on a heavy soil, sown slightly deeper. That can be probably at the 2-leaf stage. It doesn't really matter how many DSEs we've got there, because all we want to do is shift the sheep from one paddock to another. So allow them to have something to eat while the dedicated pastures actually establish. And of course it can also be used for controlling the excess growth that we can get when we sow early. We might sow a wheat crop and know that if there's plenty of nitrogen and plenty of water, it's going to grow too much. And we can use that resource for livestock, delay the maturity perhaps of the crop itself, but just as importantly, reduce the biomass so it doesn't hay off by using too much water. If we are looking at grain recovery, so we're grazing a paddock, but we want to get as close to the maximum yield as we possibly can from the grain from that paddock, it is important to remove the stock before growth stage 30. At growth stage 30, the growing point of the plant moves from being at ground level or below ground level to above ground level, so that the head is actually presented above the ground. If the stock graze right down, and they can actually remove the head of that main tiller. Growth stage 30 is not so easy to determine when we're grazing the paddock, because because they're grazing, they're delaying maturity. So the only real way of determining when growth stage 30 is actually to get out there and put an exclusion cage in the paddock, or have a paddock adjacent to it that's the same variety, sown on the same time, and you can monitor. When it reaches growth stage 31, we can find the first node above the base of the plant, then it's time to remove the stock from the paddock. The choice is for grazing, for removing the stock, is very much in the hands of each individual farmer. There is no recipe other than, if we want to get the maximum yield of grain we can, growth stage 30 is the time.
Check it every few days with to take them out with your barley. If they could bear it right out, and as long as it's a certain growth stage, like a growth stage 30, you would take them out, and as long as it's not after that, doesn't seem to be an issue. It seems to grow back as if they haven't been there, so it works well.